Yes. Welcome in, welcome back, and thank you for stopping in to the Format Podcast, another episode. So, this week, we're going to have joining us to talk the AFC and NFC championship games, and of course, the upcoming Super Bowl and interesting stories about that. We are going to have former wide receiver for the New York Giants in 2007 NFL world champion, Super Bowl champion, Michael Jennings, who coincidentally is also now sports editor for the Florida Star newspaper. We're going to have him come in and talk about it, tell us all about what he saw, what he thought, and also we're going to be debuting a new segment with him called Story Time with Mike. So look out for that one. It's pretty good stuff. Now, before we get to that, you know what we got to do. Let's knock it out. If you are on social media, if you have Twitter, I tweet a fair amount. I think I'm a fairly interesting follow. You might disagree with a lot of things I say. You might agree with some of it, but that's cool. Anyway, if you have Twitter, you can catch me on Twitter. The handle is at Bruce F.A. Hope. That's at Bruce F.A. Hope. If you are on the gram, Instagram, the handle is at The Format Podcast. That's at The Format Podcast. And if you don't have either of those, you can certainly reach me via email, theformatpodcast at outlook.com, theformatpodcast at outlook.com. You can reach me through any one of those three methods. And by doing that, you can tell me you love the show. You can tell me you hate the show, which, yeah, I probably wouldn't like as much. But guess what? If you tell me you hate the show, that means you heard it. And if you heard it, what does that mean? That means you're listening. So thanks so much for that. All right. So you can reach out, tell me you love it, tell me you hate it, tell me I'm an idiot, tell me I have no idea what I'm talking about, tell me you love the points that I'm bringing and you agree wholeheartedly. That's cool. Whatever you do, again, it lets me know you're listening and I love the interaction. So don't hesitate to reach out. You can also tell me where you think I was right, where you think I was wrong. You can tell me different things that you might want to hear me talk about on the show, or you can even recommend, different segment ideas. That'd be cool too. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out, catch me on social media, catch me via email. If you are watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to click that subscribe button in the lower right corner of your screen, and also click that bell so that you can be notified when new videos come out and you can stay up to date with the content I'm working hard to produce for you. All right. So here's next thing. If you are interested in hearing the audio only version of this podcast and not necessarily watching it, I know some people are like that. In a lot of cases, I'm like that myself. So I can, work or walk around, exercise, shop, whatever it is that I'm doing, I can still hear the pod. That's fine, because guess what? Before I started making the video content for you, the podcast was audio only, and you can get that on iTunes. You can get that on Google Podcasts. You can get that on Stitcher. You can get it on Spotify, Overcast, Podbean, wherever you get your podcast. You can find us. Just open up your app and type in The Format Podcast. That's The Format Podcast. We should come right up, okay? So all that's there for you. Now, if you're going to go on iTunes, please do us a favor and rate and review, rate and review, rate and review. All right. And while you're rating and reviewing, two things. Make sure you please give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating. I definitely would appreciate that. It helps us rise in the rankings, and, it just does better for us in terms of continuing to bring you that solid content. Also, if you're going to do that, please leave a comment. Okay. Let us know what you like about the show. The comments show, that listener interaction. And also, again, it helps us rise in the rankings. Okay. So, quick recap: find us on social media, Twitter, find us on social media, Instagram, email me if you want at outlook.com. If you're on YouTube watching this, go ahead, click that subscribe button, lower right corner, click the bell, right? All these things. If you're going to follow us and listen to the audio podcast only, we're available wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're going on iTunes, rate and review, rate and review, rate and review. And don't forget that 5-star rating. All right. So, with all that said, here we go. Sit back, relax, and listen up to episode 92 on the way to the Super Bowl and episode 100 of The Format. Today, we're going to discuss the NFL with a rundown of championship weekend, and then, of course, get into some talk about Super Bowl 55. So, joining us for that is former NFL wide receiver and Super Bowl champion with the New York Giants and current sports reporter and photographer with the Florida Star newspaper, Michael Jennings. What's good, Mike?
What up? What up? Out here in this Florida sunshine, baby. It's a blessing. It's a blessed day. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Looks beautiful out there. I see you reporting from downtown Duval, River City Brewery. Got Jacksonville out there behind you.
Yeah, man. Everybody always saying how country we is and got negative stuff to say, but I don't see nothing but paradise around here when you ask me. You hear me?
I hear you, man. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. So let's get to it. All right. So last time we talked was before the conference championship games, and I had the Bucks and the Bills. So obviously I got one of those right in my picks. And tell me what you saw, what you took away from those two championship games. And let's start with the NFC, okay? A lot of people had the Packers winning that game. Aaron Rodgers probably having an MVP season this year. Um, what did you see from Tom Brady in that game?
Well, greatness. Just to be all, man. It's really just like, to me, it was a miracle. You know what I'm saying? It's just phenomenal just to see someone been playing that long. And I just can't really believe, before the season was here, when he was going to Tampa, everybody was talking about him being in Tampa and the Super Bowl being in Tampa. And I can't
Hmm.
believe we're here, and he really did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just seen him for his age and how he's throwing the ball. It's great. I did still see in the second half of the game, I seen some flaws.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I did see some flaws. I
Right.
seen some things that they're gonna have to tighten up with if
Hmm.
they're gonna want to beat Kansas City. But all in all, you have to give them an A+, man.
Okay. Okay. So the next big question, I guess, is how much of that win was Tom Brady and how much of it was the Bucks defense, which has been playing fantastic pretty much through this whole playoff run?
Uh, well, football is a team sport.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
but if I had to call it all out, I'm gonna have to go with the GOAT, man, Brady. I mean, sometimes it's just about your aura. Sometimes when certain folk come in the locker room or certain people come around, he just make everyone better. And I believe just since Tom Brady stepped in to that organization and to that locker room and even on the field, I think it just upped everyone's game. And I really believe that winning is a mentality and it becomes habit forming. And I believe that Tom Brady is bringing um, that winning mindset to Tampa.
Hmm.
And as you can see now, they there. So I have to give it to Tom, man. Even though the defense was biting now,
Hmm.
you hear me? They was biting, but man, you got to
Yeah.
give it to you got
Well,
to give it to Tom Brady. Their defense did good, but I got to give him props.
right. So I'll say I think a big part of it was, the defense had an opportunity to really be more aggressive, especially in the second half after getting out to a big lead in the first half. I think 28-10 at halftime. So that allows you as Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, to, do a lot more things, be a lot more aggressive and play in a way you might not necessarily play in a really tight game. So I think I got to agree with you there in terms of Brady, making plays and giving the defense an opportunity to really play, with his hair on fire like that going, the rest of the game. Even though, as you said, in the second half, he did not play his best football. And I think it also says something to say that he threw 3 picks in the second half and the Packers were not able to capitalize on him, so there's that.
That
Um,
that was that was the big thing, man. Because it was crazy, man. This whole situation could be different.
mm-hmm,
I think Aaron Rodgers had a lot to do with it. I think maybe he could have capitalized. He has been known to be, so say they, as far as him having the physical ability, he's supposed to arguably be the best quarterback, but he's known to be a choker. You know what I'm saying? And that for when Tom Brady was having problems in the second half, he ain't come through.
right, right. And, with that said, that's exactly what I was about to go to next. What did you see from Aaron Rodgers in terms of he had some really good numbers, but he didn't look to me like he was in that command of the game for most of it, the way he normally is, especially falling into that big first half hole. What did you see specifically?
It's just that falls back to what I was just saying earlier. Shoot, I think winning becomes, what I'm saying, it's just a part of who you are.
Hmm.
And big people step up in big moments.
Hmm.
And it's a trip how it's almost like gambling, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when the money on the table, what you gonna do? Is you gonna barbecue a meal, do you know what I'm saying? And from when if we look in the past, that's why we got to give Tom Brady the GOAT, because he always pretty much statistically making it happen and having that winning overall mentality. And when it came to Aaron, I think he was making some good plays, but I seen when he was down in the red zone. What's the receiver, the main receiver from Green Bay?
Devontae Adams, yeah.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. They had about 3 chances when they was inside the 10-yard line, and just I could see the frustration on Devontae's face because he know how important it was for them to score that touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
they really didn't come through. So
Right.
uh, you got to, if they would have capitalized and scored those points and made those things happen, it could have been a whole nother situation. We could have had a Green Bay in Tampa, but hey, it is what it is. I'm excited, man. I want to see Tom Brady.
I
Just
hear
see my
you.
old quarterback. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I'm happy for him.
I hear you. And so, more along the lines of what you were just talking about, Aaron Rodgers gets so much attention for being an all-time great QB, and rightfully so, because he is. Given everything he's accomplished, he's likely going to be the most valuable player in the league this year. But he is now 1-4 in the NFC title game. And to you, what does that say about him, and how does it affect his legacy? Because as you mentioned, the big time players come through in big time moments and big time games, and it's looking to me more and more like Aaron Rodgers hasn't been the guy to do that, right? Like your old quarterback Eli Manning, he may not have made the playoffs that much. He's a career 500 quarterback, but in those big moments, you knew you could count on Eli to get something done. You got the ring on your finger, to signify that. But what's the deal with Aaron Rodgers, and why is he having so much difficulty getting over the hump? I've heard a lot of people blame his defenses, etc. But to me, it seems like maybe there's something wrong internally with him.
Not really. Just man, sometimes I always tell you, if you always hear me running my mouth, football is 93% mental. And
Hmm.
I believe sometimes you can get in that head game, and as a player, I think he is great. I mean, look at what we said. He went to championships. He still is making it to the championship. He was the MVP. But us as fans and the media and the world just loves a winner. And it is what it
Hmm.
is. You got
Hmm.
to take that next step. He didn't take the step. So it's gonna put a little bit of blemish on his legacy. But I believe when he go to the house and sit back and pour him a little scotch and think about everything I think that he did get a Super Bowl ring. So I do believe that he'll be proud. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, so it ain't too
Hmm.
bad. He'll be all right.
Right. So, along those lines, one more Aaron Rodgers question. We're hearing some interesting things about maybe there's some possibility that he's not back in a Green Bay uniform next year. He went on, I think, the Pat McAfee show the other day and said, he doesn't see any reason why he wouldn't be back. Obviously, the Packers organization wants him back. Is there any chance in your mind that he's not a Packer next season?
Nope, there'll be, excuse my language, some damn fools if they don't like Stephen A. Smith say, he's a bad man. You cannot let when he's one of the greatest quarterbacks. The reason why they were there, even though their team as a whole played a lot better, it was
Hmm.
still because of Aaron Rodgers why they were where they were. And
Hmm.
it's a lot of pressure, man. Just and being a professional athlete like that and having everything on your shoulders and making plays. He
Hmm.
just didn't come all the way through, but they'll be foolish not to have him back in the organization.
Hmm. You're a wide receiver. How good is Devontae Adams? And the reason I ask that, a lot of times, even though production wise he's up there, and then of course he plays with Aaron Rodgers, you may not hear him necessarily mentioned with the best of the best receivers in the league. In your estimation, how good is Devontae Adams?
Uh, I think he up there as far as this year. I think he's one of the best. And just to be quite honest, brother, some people just born with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some people just born when you just uh over 6'3" and over 215 pounds and running a 4.4 and catching them balls like that. It just you destined for greatness with the hard work and dedication.
Mm-hmm.
And all that I called out is pretty much Devontae Allen. He has good routes. He has good hands. He's
Mm-hmm.
a big target. You can just
Mm-hmm.
see all his targets throughout the game. Aaron
Right.
Rodgers, when he's looking, he want to go to Aaron Rodgers. He didn't want to go to him for no
Mm-hmm.
reason. When you got a great quarterback like that who always want to throw you the ball, feeling comfortable, know that he want to make a play, he got
Mm-hmm.
speed. Come on, man. You can't take nothing from him. Now, if you
Fair enough.
ask me personally, I'm gonna still call out Plexico Burris as far as big men making plays, but I
Mm-hmm.
could see him being as great as big. I call him Big Lanky, but I can see him being that great.
Got you. Okay, so let's go ahead and move away from the NFC, and we'll go over to the AFC title game. Um, Obviously, I had Josh Allen and the Bills upsetting the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I think you told me I was wrong on that. I definitely was wrong on that. I was way off, matter of fact. What did you see in that game? And I guess the bigger question is, can Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey in that offense be stopped or even controlled?
Well, brother, you can see it on my shirt. It says "Speed kills,"
Yeah, yeah.
and my friend, I have never, and it's about an eye test, and me being a ex track athlete,
Mhm,
always noticing speed.
mhm,
I have never seen as much speed as the Kansas City Chiefs
mhm.
show on that field from the eye test. And that's not for me being out there, for me just seeing, man, with that much speed, with a quarterback like Mahomes, man, you can't be. It's hard. It's hard to go against that, man. I see nothing but greatness. I believe we're looking at a dynasty right in front of our eyes
Okay,
in the
okay.
making.
So you mentioned being a former track athlete, and as a speedster yourself, you ran a 4.3 flat at Florida State's Pro Day, and that's what got you spotted by former Chargers scout and Hall of Famer James Lofton. Tell us, how fast is Tyreek Hill? We've seen a lot of fast guys in the NFL. Just how fast is Cheetah?
Man, like shoot, like Plexico Birds used to always tell me, no, they always say, "Have you ever seen a cheetah stretch?" No, you ain't seen it. The cheetah just naturally fast, and that's the goddamn Tyreek Hill. Me personally, I've seen a lot of fast people.
Hmm.
I don't think I've seen nobody as fast and explosive as Tyreek Hill. I got the just for me. Somebody calling out. Y'all can call out a lot of receivers. Uh, what's the guy from the Seahawks? Galloway.
Yeah, Joey Galloway.
There's a lot of people, but speed transferred into the game as
Hmm.
far as putting your speed into running routes, coming in and
Hmm.
out of breaks, separation from the cornerbacks, even yak after the ball. I haven't seen no one who is faster than that man. You got to get to him.
Okay.
He is the definition of my shirt say speed kills, baby. You can see
Yeah.
it on the field.
Yeah, I've been watching the NFL for since the '80s. Seen a lot of football. You and me talked offline. Darrell Green, Rod Woodson, Alexander Wright. These guys are. Alexander Wright literally was an Olympian. I think gold medalist in the 4x1. But to your point, that speed that Tyreek Hill has on the field. And I think you're right. One of the most impressive things is he does not seem to slow down in and out of breaks. And I don't think I've ever seen that before. I mean,
Man,
maybe him against a prime Darrell Green or a prime Deion Sanders might be the only comparable matchup in terms of a DB trying to stay with him. But he's tremendous. And then once he catches the ball, that acceleration is insane. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I didn't even mention Mercole Hardman before. He's another, low 4.3 guy. He's yeah, this team
I
is
think about some
tremendously
fast ones.
fast.
You might ever remember Bethel Johnson. I mean, with just Tim Carter from the New York Giants, man. When I tell you, man, these guys, they wouldn't know, but Tim Carter was probably fast. He was from Auburn University. I used to mess with him and say lane number 4 from Auburn University,
Right.
Tim Carter. He was, I mean, was made to run, but
Hmm.
it never. nothing. He had great routes, but nothing looks like what Tyreek Hill is doing now, man. Something I don't know
Hmm.
what I don't know what's going on. They put in his series. His mama put something in his series. I don't know what he got going on, boy.
I hear that. I hear that. So, so you'll be down at the Super Bowl next weekend, and you'll be covering it for the Florida Star newspaper. What do you expect to see out of that game? Obviously, Tom Brady and the Bucks being the first team ever to host the Super Bowl in their own stadium, and obviously they're playing the defending champion Chiefs. What do you expect to see out of that matchup?
I just think it's gonna be a game for the ages, man. You got
Hmm.
Mahomes, you got the whippersnapper, the youngin
Yeah.
going up against the GOAT who
Yes.
he done learned from and did it for a long time. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's gonna be great, man. And me personally, I believe you just can't go against that speed. You see, I got it on my
Hmm.
shirt, speed kills, man. You can't go against it, but man, it's something special about Tom Brady. That's why I'm so excited about going to cover this and going to take pictures down at this stadium and being a part of this experience because just to be able to go say me being able to catch passes from him, I think
Hmm.
it's an honor just to be able to cover this last game because we don't know if he'll be back in this situation. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And even right now, as we speak, uh, the Chiefs are having some problems at left tackle. He just did his Achilles,
Hmm.
and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line is biting right now.
Yes,
Uh,
ferocious.
they're doing a great job. What's the guy's name on that D line?
You got
Uh,
Pierre Paul. You
Pierre
got
Paul. Yes, he's doing great. Pierre
and
Paul is
Dominican
doing great.
Sue, Vita Vea.
Great man. It's so
Hmm.
it is some issues, and see that's what you gotta love about football. Any given Sunday, even though the Chiefs seem like they're an unstoppable team, it's just you never know what happens in a situation like this. It's some key variables that can change the whole game. You never know what happened, but
Hmm.
you can't give the GOAT any room because on paper he's supposed to lose, but man, you can't bet against Brady, man. You can never bet against Brady, man. You see, I
Yeah.
can't believe he there.
And that's the thing too. I've really been turning this game back and forth over in my head, and the logic to me says the Chiefs. It says that, but then I
Yeah.
just I don't think
I mean,
I can't bet
can
against
you
the
really
goal, like you said.
can you really say, oh no, Tampa Bay gonna lose? It's still something you just it's
Hmm.
hard to make it's hard to make that decision. It's just
Hmm.
that's why you gotta love this game, man. You got to love the Super Bowl. That's the
Hmm.
difference what I can say about from the NBA and MLB. See, you don't have another chance.
No.
It's not a best of seven.
Hmm.
It's one Sunday. The whole world is watching,
Hmm.
and you got to love it, man. And we are here. It's almost here, brother. And I'm so excited, my boy. And I'm
Right.
gonna be there. I gotta talk door to you. I'm gonna be there, brother. But I can't wait till we do a podcast. We're gonna be talking noise. We're gonna bring some guests. I'm excited.
I hear that. I hear that. So, we talked a lot about the speed and the explosiveness of the Chiefs offense, but the Bucks offense is no slouch either. Obviously, you got the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, pulling the trigger. Talking about speed, Scotty Miller, he's a 4.3 guy himself. He is fast. I think I read something the other day said he believes he's the fastest guy in the league. Might be a
Yeah,
stretch, but
I
he's
did.
fast though.
Scotty, I love you, Scotty. I love you, Scotty. But
Not
I,
quite.
uh, I, you are one of the fastest white boy I have ever seen on that field. Trust me, because
Hmm.
I didn't even know he did good. You see how when it was only I believe less than 20 seconds left in the half, and
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't
and
know
they went to
why they
him.
went with that. They went to him. It was a great throw. That's where you
Hmm.
see a great throw, but the speed of him and his
Yes.
concentration on the play, I got to give him props. But saying you faster than the cheetah, brother, I'm gonna say it one more time. Have you ever seen a cheetah scratch? No, you talking about Tyreek Hill, baby.
Yeah. But what I will say though, before I get off track, is that you're a competitor and you know this better than most. As a competitor, you got to believe it. You
Yeah, you're
can't
right.
go out there believing the next man is better than you. So whether it's true or not, that's a different story, but you got to believe it as a competitor. But talking about the Bucks offense, their receiving core, they could run the football with Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. That's a solid 1-2 punch. And you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, some of the best wide receivers in the league, and they have size that they can, make big plays in the red zone and big plays and move the chains. and we know that Bruce Arians is an aggressive downfield play caller, and so I think that. Do you think it's possible maybe we're not giving the Bucks offense enough credit going up against Kansas City's nuclear offense?
No, I just think that Kansas City is just so dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
They so dynamic, and sometimes I just think that the Bucks still have another step to go as far as like Chris Godwin. Why are you dropping the ball so much, brother? I don't understand what's going on. Have you been paying
Mm-hmm.
attention how much Chris Godwin has been? He
Mm-hmm.
was a Pro Bowl wide receiver,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of key balls. I'm going to keep a close eye on Godwin because he has to show me a lot more with his hands and just concentration. And I believe he just need to relax in the moment just a little bit more.
Mm.
Tom Brady is going to really need him to step up. And if just remember, I'm gonna call it. If he starts dropping those balls like he was doing in the playoff game, they might not have a chance like they did. And I know for a fact they're not going to have the same chances that the mistakes that they made in the second half against Green Bay. These guys are going to have to step up. Uh, but other than that, man, I do think that the Bucks offense is great. I think they, like you say, Antonio Brown should be back healthy, but he's not going to be all the way 100% because he's not. It's all about getting a rhythm sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But in this moment, you know what I'm saying? I believe they can do a lot, but I
So.
mean that's the only reason. I just keep your eye on Godwin. He needs to make a play because I ain't worried about Brady. Fournette, long as he stay healthy, he gonna make a play. He's
Mm-hmm.
starting to find himself. You know the
Mm-hmm.
ex Jaguar. His only problem I had with was I think he has attitude issues, and I really believe that he's just always injury prone.
Yeah, I
But
think the
if
injury
he get
prone
on the rhythm,
piece.
he a bad man.
I think the injury prone piece comes from his physicality as a runner. He's not afraid to take on contact. In terms of attitude, we know that as a leader, Brady's not going to let you have that, especially if you're not producing the way he feels you should. You mentioned Antonio Brown. I think one of the keys with him is not necessarily his impact in the numbers, but his impact in the attention that he can garner from the defense, right? If AB's on the field, you have to account for that dude, and that could open up things for other guys, whether it's like we said, Scotty Miller or Chris Godwin or Mike Evans. And the thing you mentioned, Chris Godwin with the drops, and you would know this. You drop too many, Brady ain't going back to you. So if he
But no,
wants,
no, not now. I'm gonna tell you something. I have to disagree because if you go back and look at the game,
uh-huh,
on the first on the it was second down. He dropped, I believe it was a 15-yard pass that
mm-hmm,
could have been a first down. The exact next play,
mm-hmm,
Brady came right back to him, and that's just a good quarterback who gonna get you in the huddle, look you in the eye, say, "Hey man, we got to tighten up, and you better catch the ball because I'm coming back to you."
mm, okay. I'll just say it's been reported, and you would know this better than me because you've been in the huddle with him. It's been reported that if you drop too many, Brady has stopped throwing it to you. But I like what you said there.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's all about confidence, man. And as a leader, uh, we all make mistakes, even though it's a job and your job is to catch the ball. I never forget when I was with the Patriots. Coach Belichick pulled me to the side and he just stopped me real quick and said, "Michael, what is your job as a wide receiver?" And I started kind of fumbling a little bit. I didn't know what to say because I was nervous because Coach Belichick doesn't really talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to me, so I was nervous. And he was like, he stopped me and said, "Get open and catch the ball," and then walked away real smooth. And I was like, "Oh," so it stuck with me. So in some of the words, our job is to catch the ball, but it does a lot for you when someone like Tom Brady, when you messed up, you getting down, when he give you that look and come right back to you, and then you make a play. I mean, it can give you a lot of confidence.
I got you. I got you. So we've spent a lot of time here talking about the offense. Obviously, you're an offensive player, and that's the sexy side of the ball. But overall, which side do you feel has the advantage defensively? Now, I think what's something that's interesting, a lot of people maybe aren't taking into account. Your old defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, is with Kansas City, and he knows how to get Brady off of his spot and how to make things difficult for Brady in the biggest games. So first, how well do you know Spags? And then secondly, do you think he's going to be able to have similar successes? Because if we can make note of that, that Brady knows that Spags is over there too.
Yeah, man. I think that Coach Spags, which I am very fond of Coach Spags, I think
Mm-hmm.
he's a great defensive coordinator. And I'm not a guy who knew a lot about the defense. I
Mm-hmm.
was just fresh out the track and I was steady trying to learn what I had to do on offense. But what I do remember in the Super Bowl, it felt like we were the same thing. Brady was the giant. They were
Mm-hmm.
undefeated that year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of hard just going to a game like that mentally thinking, you know what I'm saying, we coming to win. But when I seen the defensive line come off that ball, the first snap of the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that we were ready to play. And I think that Coach Spags got that defense ready, and we put Brady on the ground so much in that
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl game. And if anybody can do it, I know Coach Spags. He the man to get to the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So, um, do you see any of the Chiefs pass rushers maybe having an effect like Strahan or Justin Tucker, OC Umenyiora did in that Super Bowl that you guys had? Who do you see maybe
But hey,
being the standout guy? I mean, I know I'm naming Strahan's in the Hall of Fame and those other
I'm
guys.
about to say, I'm a little biased now. You see, I got that New York Giant habit
I
sitting
already
behind me
see
now,
it.
dog.
I see
OC
it.
Europe, man, OC Europe, man. I mean, this man was so fat. I'll never forget one time OC came to me at the locker room. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to race me. He said, Mike, he wanted to go check for check and say, let's run 20, let's race 20 yards, me and you.
Mm.
I give you my and it would have been a blessing for me because at the time I was only making about $10,000 a week, brother. You hear me? I make
Mm.
about 10,000. OC was at least making a good 70 to 80,000 a week. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So that would have been a blessing for me. But that shows how much speed he had. I couldn't accept the bet. He had that much speed, that much burst off the line, man.
Okay.
As that big of a man.
Right. Right.
So, man, and you talking about Justin Tuck and Michael Strahan, man, and man, we had to, no, I can't put you on the same level. Them boys,
Right.
them boys bad, you hear me?
Well, I had to bring up Justin Tuck. You know what I mean? Go Irish. I had to bring that up. um,
Justin Tuck, that's my home. Shout out to Justin Tuck, man. That's my boy.
I hear that.
Hopefully I get to see him down there in Tampa.
I hear that. Okay, so kind of wrapping the Super Bowl part of this up. What team here, total team, do you feel has the advantage? And let's be real here. We know what this is about. Can Brady get it done one more time in your estimation?
Well, I'm gonna give advantage to the Chiefs,
Mm-hmm.
but man, you know what? Just because I'm just a man of faith and I just kind of go on the wild side, I'm gonna just go and call it. I think he can pull it off.
I
I
think so
say it's an
too.
advantage to the Chiefs, but I'm gonna go to my old quarterback, Tom Brady, man, the
Mm-hmm.
GOAT. I don't know what he drinking, like you say. I don't know what his mama put in his cereal.
Right.
I don't know what he got, but man, he is looking great. Even the skin looking good, man. I need to find out what you're drinking, what you put in your water, brother. He looking good.
It's the
He,
TB12
his,
method.
even, even when you look at how he throwing the ball, man, the zip
Mm-hmm.
on the ball, man,
He
you
still
can't
got
take
it.
that from him,
Yes.
man. I can't see. He got it, man. You got to give it
Mm-hmm.
to Brady. So just I'm gonna go on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Chiefs supposed to be good, but if anybody can do it, I'm gonna give it to Tom Brady.
You know what? I would love to disagree with you on this, but I really can't. I mean, some is just telling me don't bet against the GOAT. He just seems to find a way.
Some telling me too. It's all bet against the go. Don't do it.
Right.
You're gonna lose your lunch money, baby.
All right. So we've talked about what we saw last weekend, conference championship weekend, what we think we're going to see, and what we're looking forward to next weekend at the Super Bowl. So, of course, thank you for that, Mike. And here we go. It's time to debut our brand new segment where Mike Jennings gives us a behind the curtains look at the NFL from his own experience playing at the highest level of football. Like we said, this man is a Super Bowl champion. He's had the opportunity to play, with some of the greats of all time. Hall of Fame wide receiver Terrell Owens, caught passes from Hall of Fame quarterback Tom Brady and should be future Hall of Fame quarterback Eli Manning. So we know he's been around a little bit. And get ready, everybody. It's story time with Mike.
Yes, sir, man. But I think just when I think about the Super Bowl and I think about all this, it's about memories and I think it's about the atmosphere. Just the atmosphere being in Tampa, and it just bring me back to remember the first time Eli Manning played his brother Peyton. It was the first game of the year. and it was me. I was on the practice squad, and it was my first time being activated to the active roster. And when I tell you, man, coming out of that tunnel, man, it was just so much electricity. And I can remember how nervous I was coming out and seeing Giants Stadium was packed, man. And I was just so nervous. And I was so excited and happy just to be a part of the team, just to be with the New York Giants. And we come out and we're playing the new Indianapolis Colts. And just so happened, people don't know this fact now. I'm telling y'all right now. I caught the first pass of the season that year. And I believe that was 2006. That was the year before we won the Super Bowl. But the year before, I caught the first pass. And I'll never forget, Jeremy Shockey was in the slot. And we were 3 wide, and Amani Tooman was on the outside. And I was so nervous, man. And Eli threw the ball. I went in and grabbed it with my hand. I grabbed that thing. They was in cover 2. And man, when I tell you, and I just want to tell y'all this, it's different speeds to football. It's preseason, it's regular season,
Right.
it's playoffs, and it's Super Bowls. So I was only used to preseason, but now it was regular season. And man, when I tell you, man, the speed of the game, and but when I tell you, man, they came down on me and hit me, bam! And when they hit me, first of all, I caught the ball. It was a blessing. I was happy. But I went to the sideline. I'm telling you, they came down hard, but they hit me and stunned me so hard, I was kind of out of it a little bit. This is my first time really getting hit. I went to the sideline, and my partner, Frank Walker, he was on the sideline, and he say, Mike Jennings, he looked at me, he say, that jump it's real in the regular season, ain't it, brother? And I looked at him, I was like, yeah. And when he looked at me, he was like, Mike, give the referee the ball back. I still had the ball. He didn't hit me so hard. I ain't know what it was. I still had the ball on me, but on some real, man, I'm gonna share a lot of these experiences, y'all, but I just never forget coming out of that tunnel and feeling electricity, and I can just imagine what it's gonna feel like next Sunday at Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium, man, when they come out of that tunnel to play. So just me thinking, I was just thinking about my moment when I felt that it was like anointing, man. It was like when you go to church, you feel that anointing, man. It was like you can't explain it. It was just electricity in the air, man. But I just am thankful that I could experience that, man.
I got you. Did you guys win the game?
And did we win? You know what? I believe we lost that game. If I have to come back and think, we played a great game though. We played a great game. It still let us know we was good, but we lost that game. Big brother won. Big brother Peyton beat Eli.
I hear that. I hear that. Well, Mike, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you got a lot going on to join us to talk some football, analyze the games. Man, I look forward to catching up with you down in Tampa, and then we go ahead and do the pod from there and give the people some more, some more great information and see a little bit of what's going on down there. And another episode of Story Time with Mike.
All right, man. Be blessed, man. And I'm at Speed Kills, baby. I'm about to go have me a little drink. I'll holler at you later, boy.
All right, thanks, man. Take it easy.
Yes, sir.